Hi everyone, this is attorney Lilian from Lillylegal, where we help our clients get status for themselves and their families using the U.S. immigration law system. So today I want to answer a question that I received from a viewer, which is, what are the most difficult questions you encounter during immigration interviews? This person is specifically asking about marriage-based interviews. Okay, so let's get right into it. I've done so many videos going through the type of questions to expect, but the most difficult questions are actually like the simplest, right? Most of the time people think the difficult questions, like officers are going to ask you like random questions, but no, it's the questions that they expect you to know that sometimes trips people up. So this is one that I know for a fact trips people up, because it is one of those questions that people really do not think about. They do not think about it. So when they get to the interview and it's asked, they are all over the place. And that is, in a marriage case, when you go to your interview and the officer asks you, pretend my office is your bedroom. Tell me where everything is, okay? Do not leave out any details. This usually gets people like confused, right? They forget their left from their right. They forget how many windows are in their bedroom and which wall the window is on. And then sometimes it's a question of like understanding that if it's a one giant window versus two small windows on separate walls, like it can be confusing. And that's one of the questions I know some of my clients have had issues with when we would have a mock interview. So that is a difficult one, is to imagine that an office that you've never been in is your bedroom, and being able to properly identify where everything would be, right? Where your bed would be, where your dresser would be, if you have a TV, which wall it will be in, which wall your closet is in. I know for me, when I first came to the US, and I still have this issue to this day, left from right is really hard for me, and I have to point. So when you're in that situation, if you are mixing up your left from your right using your words, sometimes pointing will help, okay? Just go ahead, point to the wall that you think, that you believe the window is at. The officer will be drawing a diagram or writing down what you're saying. So make sure if you get that question that you take your time, really picture your room. You're walking in the door, where is everything? So that is a very difficult question that people sometimes get wrong, just because, again, you don't really pay close attention, or you don't know your left from your right. So think about that one. The next one that is, again, not difficult, but sometimes, again, miscommunication, is, when did you meet? When did you get engaged? When was your first date? That's my favorite one. When was your first date? Because I've had people the husband gives me a different date and the wife gives me a different date, because to the wife, their first time like hanging out was not a date. To the husband, their first time hanging out was a date. So it's something as simple as that can really throw off an interview or make it seem more difficult than it is. That's not your fault, okay? That's something that's explainable. But just know, if that's the situation, you really need to communicate beforehand, okay? I've had a couple go in and they asked that question, and the spouse, one spouse is like, our first date was at McDonald's. And then the other spouse said, our first date was at Legal Seafood, but the first time we hung out was at McDonald's. So in that situation, they're both right. There's no inconsistencies. So it's really about how you answer the question, not the question itself. So pay attention to that and don't get tripped up. That's really the main thing. And to make sure you're prepared, go ahead and watch my video on marriage-based interviews. I go through most of the questions that I ask during my own mock interviews with my clients, most of the questions my clients have experienced. So don't be afraid. Go ahead, watch that, talk to your spouse beforehand, prepare so that you are not tripped up by these questions that to the officer may seem simple, but to you and your immigrant spouse, it may not be simple, okay? So go ahead and do that. And that is all I have for you today. If you found this helpful, go ahead and hit the like button. If you know someone that needs to hear this, go ahead and share the video with them. And if you are watching in a place where you can subscribe and you do not want to miss any of my future uploads, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And if you would like to schedule a time to speak with me personally, you can do that. My contact information will be in the description to this video. And as always, I am Lilian Chukura. I am the owner of Lillylegal, where we do immigration law and we do it well. Bye for now.